child rights
Okay.
advocates.
Okay.
We are live.
Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining this today's interaction with Dr. Vincent Chopal. My name is Sanjay Gupta. I am the chairperson of SAIEVAC India. And I'm thankful to all our members, team members who have uh, uh, joined today and will be joining in a span of time. I have the privilege of having with us Dr. Vincent Chopal. He is the Director General for South Asia Initiative to End Violence Against Children, SAIEVAC. And also, very proudly, we say that he is also the Vice Chair for UNCRC Committee and also the reporting member from the South Asia. So welcome, Dr. Vincent Chopal.
Thank you very much, Sanjay, and hello to all our friends.
Thank you, sir. So, Dr. Vincent Chopal, today, because this, as with your great commitment towards SAIEVAC and also you being the key person for having NSCGs in 8 countries in place, first, we would like to welcome you on board on behalf of all the members. And then I would like to start from asking you something about this CRC. What is the CRC committee? How this functions? And what is its importance? So you may start, please.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. And once again, it's my privilege to be e-meeting all our great friends out there. Some who are very close friends, close associates, some with whom I've had the privilege to interact in the past, and others with whom I hope in the near future I'll have the opportunity and privilege to interact. Now, Sanjay talked to me and said that maybe it is worthwhile to have an interaction with all of you, with me, particularly on what the UNCRC is all about, and also what SAIEVAC is all about, so that we have a common understanding in terms of, what we are dealing with, or what are our challenges and opportunities as we continue to drive the child rights movement forward. Of course, what I had indicated to Sanjay was that it's probably not really necessary for me to go into the details of what the UNCRC is all about, because all of us have been working on child rights for so long now that it's part of our day-to-day life. But because I'm now the vice chair of the UNCRC committee, it may be also an opportunity for me to create a little better understanding of what the platform is, what the UNCRC treaty body is all about, and what we do. And then, of course, deal with the issues or the, current status of what SAIEVAC, the South Asia Initiative to End Violence Against Children, is all about, and what we are doing and where we are now, and more importantly, the relationship of SAIEVAC and the NSCGs, where sometimes we do seem to get into some misconceptions in terms of our relationships. So I thought this is an opportunity to clarify that. But I'm very happy that SAIEVAC India has been one of the torchbearers of the SAIEVAC movement over the years. And I'm always very encouraged and inspired by the work that is going on in India under the banner of the SAIEVAC India. Now, first talking about the UNCRC. Now, like Sanjay said, I'm currently the vice chair of the UNCRC committee, and I'm also the rapporteur of the committee, and I'm also the focal point for Asia Pacific in the committee. I also chair the working group on children in emergencies. And I've been a member of the working group that developed the General Comment 26 on children's rights and environment. And I was also the member of the group that did the Day of General Discussions in 2022 on alternative care. And of course, I'm also a working group that will develop the General Comment 27. So therefore, I'm very closely involved with the work of the UNCRC committee, and especially as vice chair and member of the bureau, a lot of decision-making and responsibilities come on the table. So therefore, it gives me an opportunity to also represent the interest and voices of Asia, particularly South Asia, when I deal with the work in the committee. So it's indeed a great privilege to be able to do that. Now, we all know that there is a broad area of international instruments which set out the human rights of children. But the UNCRC is very special in the sense that it is the first legally binding international instrument to incorporate the full range of civil, cultural, economic, political, and social rights, as well as aspects of the humanitarian law, which I think is the most crucial one, which we need to also address. It starts with the premise that children should grow up in an environment of happiness, love, and understanding. And I think this is something which, as we move forward, in a world that is so troubled by conflict, war, hatred, discrimination, divisions, I think it is so important that we concentrate on that aspect. And today, as we speak here, we know that there is so much tragedy going on in Gaza. And the CRC committee on Thursday issued a very strong statement, condemning what is happening there, asking for immediate and unconditional ceasefire, and to ensure that children who are in bondage, who are captured or detention, should be released. There should be access to, adequate and prompt medical care. And I think we all must send our prayers in a united fashion to the children who are suffering there. And of course, tragically, yesterday night, there was an earthquake in Nepal, which shook also many parts of India, and a lot of lives have been lost. So in solidarity, also, I think we all must remember our brethren who are going through this difficult time. Now, having said that, you also know that the UNCRC convention builds on the Charter of the United Nations, which was developed in 1945, which recognized that the inherent dignity and the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family and the foundation of freedom, justice, peace, and social progress. So basically, it did not very explicitly clarify rights of children, but within that larger framework, provided adequate recognition for all members of the human race. The UN Convention, which actually then specified that, and more clarity provided through this convention, with the start or the opening or the entry point, which the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948, which proclaimed that childhood is entitled to special care and assistance. Now, we know that today UNCRC is the most universally ratified convention in the world. All nations of the world, except for one, and you know which country, has not ratified. Otherwise, it's the most universally ratified convention. And the CRC has, again, 3 optional protocols. One on armed conflict, one on, sale of children, and the other on independent communications, right, OPIC. Now, India is ratified the UNCRC convention in 1992, if I'm correct. And therefore, India is also one of the early countries who ratified the convention. Now, the UNCRC, the treaty body system, we fall under the overall human rights system of the UN. And the UN General Assembly has established what is the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, which actually services the human rights treaty bodies as well as the Human Rights Council. And UNCRC is one of the 9 treaty bodies that deals with specific issues, and we deal with child rights.
Mhm.
Now, each treaty body has, depending on the size of its workload and mandate, also has its own program of schedule that is outlined. The UNCRC committee, we are composed of 18 independent experts. One of the things which is, I think, important to understand is that, when we call ourselves independent experts, we are actually nominated by the respective governments, respective state parties. The campaign and for the election and everything is spearheaded by the respective governments. But once you get elected, then you are an independent expert, and your work is guided by what we call the Addis Ababa guidelines, which clearly spells out how we have to work in terms of in relation to our other work atmosphere, our relationship with our nominating state or our country vis-a-vis others. So, like, for example, all issues related to the conflict of interest and everything. So basically, the committee, then as per standard practice, we meet 3 times a year.
Okay.
And it's very clearly defined time frame. So we meet in the January-February session, we meet in May-June session, then August and September session. And we have 3 days of session, main session, where we hold dialogue with state parties. And then we have 1 week of pre-session where we prepare or we hold dialogues or consultations with stakeholders like, NGOs, civil society, NHRIs, and children. And then, work towards, the holding the dialogue of those countries in the pre-session in the next session.
Yep.
So this is how it is done. And the civil society, I think you all must be quite clear that under Article 45, which clearly spells out the role of civil society organizations in terms of how you contribute to the overall dialogue process and the overall building of compliance with the state process. The Child Rights Connect, which is the civil society network based in Geneva, is coordinating the civil society, reports and responses and participation. And between the state party report and the alternated reports, then we have about 2 months, which is very short, but a period within which critical information is provided to the UNCRC committee so that we hold very constructive dialogue with the state parties so that we are up to date with what is happening, what is not happening, what the state party is ignoring in terms of the concluding observations which are made to the previous report. So it becomes extremely important for civil society and children to actually contribute to the work of the UNCRC.
Okay,
so
thank you so much. So thank you so much, Dr. Vinchan. Till this time, you have said many things. Just wanted to bring to your attention, more than 85 people are watching it live. And I would like to welcome, I just named a few of them who are watching, Chanchalji, and I can see Pooja Kumari, I can see Mr. A.R. Gurjar, Madhviji is watching it, and I can see Rani, Bodhu, welcome all, Ushaji, I can see Radhika, Monica, Gunji. So many people from all across country is watching this program, and we are here to tell you more about UNCRC and how SAIEVAC function. Dr. Vinchan Chopal, who is the vice chair, is with us. And if you have any question, please just write down in the chat box of the YouTube, because we can see it. I am reading it on my mobile. I can see Shri Sachin, Shri Rakesh Kumar Bhargava, Shri Madan Kumar ji from Ranchi, Shri Rajesh Kapoor from Cohesion Trust. All are welcome. तो सर थोड़ा सा एक निवेदन बीच में कुछ लोगों ने ये किया है कि थोड़ा सा अगर हिंदी में भी बोले तो खासकर नॉर्थ इंडिया में काफी लोग जुड़े हैं इससे। तो जितनी बात मैं आपकी समझ पाया कि यूएनसीआरसी एक प्रोसेस है जिसमें सभी देशों ने साइन किया है, रेटिफाई किया है। भारत ने 12वें में किया। एक देश है जिसका नाम आप लेना नहीं चाहते थे, हम भी स्किप कर देते हैं, नाम नहीं देते हैं, बट उन्होंने रेक्टिफाई नहीं किया है। पर जो मैं आपसे समझना चाहता हूँ कि किसी भी जैसे मुल्क की क्या प्रतिबद्धता है, मतलब व्हाट इज दी like are they obliged to report to UNCRC and as you said reporting time is 3 years, तो उससे क्या मतलब होता है अगर 3 साल में रिपोर्टिंग ना करें तो क्या होगा?
See, basically, the guidelines indicate कि ये ratification is voluntary, है ना?
Okay.
लेकिन it becomes a moral ethical obligation for a state party which actually, as a member of the General Assembly, decides or ratifies a convention, then you actually become obliged to ratify that. And after all, it is on issues that affect your children, if it is for CRC. So, yeah. But one of the reasons why the United States of America did not ratify is that they actually indicate that they have national laws and policies which are far more
better,
better, which of course is a point for debate, and and you know that every day women's and rights issues actually explode in the United States and become highly concerning. Anyway. So basically, CRC के लिए मैं सोचा कि अगर हम थोड़ा क्वेश्चन आंसर्स में जो मेंबर्स who are watching उनके डाउट्स हो या कोई क्लैरिटी हो या कोई क्वेरीज हो, तो I thought I will concentrate on that and respond instead of me going through all that. All I want to actually, what is important, I think, and with my now 3 years of experience in the committee, one thing is very, very clear. The CRC committee and the reporting obligations are taken very seriously by the governments during the reporting period, during the dialogue process. Because then, that 2 days when we actually hold dialogues with the state parties, so state parties come fully prepared to take this process forward. The challenge lies in, taking forward the concluding observations. And then between one reporting period to the other reporting period, then, there are 6 to 8 years where sometimes then till the next reporting period, then you forget about it. While the concluding observations should be, day-to-day affair, not just something that is a periodic reporting. So this is a challenge which we are now trying to address. And we are now also looking at opportunities of follow-up for the committee members during the intersessions. We work with the state mechanisms, we work with our civil society partners, we work with children, and to see that, we inform the civil society and children what happened in the dialogue, what is there in the concluding observations, and what can they do, and how can the CRC committee members or the CRC committee itself, help in taking this process forward. So this will make it a living dialogue which is alive continuously. And I think the NACG has a very important role in this.
Now, मैं थोड़ा सा एक आपको बीच में क्षमा चाहूंगा, रोक रहा हूँ. I just communicate that there again many people have joined. Ranjan Kumar Mohanty ji has joined from Odisha. Then I can see Mr. Kuldeep from Himachal Pradesh. उड़ीसा से ही कोपी श्री हरिकेश पांडा जी जुड़ चुके हैं हमारे बीच में. रोशन कुमार जी जुड़ चुके हैं from आंध्र प्रदेश. So this is, like you can see the magic of the technology where people are actually listening to you directly on this platform. So, sir, one of my question which I have read from this is कि जो हमारी जो ये बातें होती हैं, where you said that they are not obliged, but as a part of practice they should do it. And so can I get few examples where you can quote where CRC has said something to some of the countries and they have done it? कोई
No,
ऐसा
actually,
एग्जाम्पल
if
जिसमें जी
just say like for example, there are many. For example, if since it's the closest to and the safest probably, if I speak of Bhutan,
ओके
I actually was part of the delegation that went to President Bhutan's initial report in 2000 to the CRC committee. And during that time, the royal government of Bhutan did not have an institutional mechanism to be responsible or to be the custodian of the CRC.
ओके
And so when the delegation, the CRC committee recommended that there should be a national mechanism or institutional structure created that is responsible for taking the UNCRC recommendations forward and responsible for the convention.
Yep.
So within the next 2 years, the royal government of Bhutan established the National Commission for Women and Children. So basically, in many countries, when
Okay.
we go through the concluding observations, and then when we prepare the list of issues prior to reporting for the countries that come to reporting, we look and see कि बहुत कुछ follow-up actions were taken.
होते हैं,
Then
जी
we identify that the spirit of something that we had recommended was not fulfilled. Yeah, something that we had recommended in terms of ensuring some amendment in the law has not taken place. Or say, for example, one common one that we see is the age of child marriage. The committee recommends that the child marriage age should be this, but the countries have make the amendment to 18 but keep an exception.
जी
So those things, so these things become part of, but it's what we have to understand is the CRC reporting procedure, for that matter, all treaty body reporting procedure is a continuous process.
process.
You continue to build on it.
Yeah.
Something has been done, but new issues come up, emerging challenges come up. Like, for example, now with environment and children's rights issues. This is now we have, since September this year, we have also included a cluster on children's rights and environment in our dialogue
Okay.
process, which was
Okay.
not there, because now we specifically ask state parties on children's rights and environment. So things like that. So therefore, every country makes an effort, but one definite challenge is that a particular report is presented by a particular government. Then there is a change in the government. Institutional
Then
memory
it
is
will
gone.
have
People have moved on.
Hmm.
So when the next reporting cycle comes,
Okay.
then there is a new team who is not aware of a lot of things. So therefore,
Okay.
you need to dig. So that's
Okay.
why the civil society platform is extremely crucial, because civil society is more or less constant. It
Constant.
becomes the institutional memory. And that's why the working relationship of the governments with its civil society, non-NGO networks is, I think, extremely crucial. So
Okay.
basically,
So-
for the CRC, I'm not sure what else I can say. The
अरे
rest are all technical.
एक दो सवाल है, मैं आप आगे मैं पूछ लेता हूँ। सबसे पहले तो मैं थोड़ा सा क्विकली, क्योंकि बार बार लोग लिख रहे हैं, थोड़ा सा हिंदी में बोल दीजिए, तो मैं ही थोड़ा सा बता देता हूँ आपको कि देखिए डॉक्टर रिचर्ड चोपल ने बहुत अच्छे से बताया कि ये व्यवस्था है, पूरे यूएन के सारे जितने देश हैं उन्होंने मिलकर एक व्यवस्था बनाई, यूएनसीआरसी का गठन हुआ और उसमें ये तय हुआ कि बच्चों की बात होगी, बच्चों के अधिकारों की बात होगी, उस पर साइन हुए, सभी देशों ने साइन कर दिए, हर 3 साल में रिपोर्ट जाती है, जो भी सुझाव दिए जाते हैं यूएन की तरफ से, फिर वो देश हैं वो अपने अपने उनको लागू करते हैं। एक उदाहरण भी दिया आपने भूटान का, आपने बहुत सारे ऐसे उदाहरण, एक और मैं सर की जानकारी में डालना चाहूंगा, जैसे एक यूएन जनरल कमेंट बना स्ट्रीट चिल्ड्रन के ऊपर, जो बच्चे बहुत सारी विषम परिस्थितियों में रहते हैं, तो अब उनको कैसे एक्नॉलेज करेंगे पूरे विश्व में, तो उनके ऊपर एक समझ बनाई। तो ऐसे करके विभिन्न कार्यक्रम होते हैं जो यूएनसीआरसी की कमेटी करती है। हमारा जो ये सेशन था यूएनसीआरसी वाला, ये हमने 30 मिनट का समय रखा था, पर कुछ एक दो सवाल है जो मैं फटाफट पढ़ देता हूँ। सुकेंदु पूछना चाहते हैं सर व्हाट इज द मॉनिटरिंग मैकेनिज्म ऑफ यूएनसीआरसी कमेटी, जो कि आपने एक्सप्लेन कर दिया है। अगर कोई इम्प्लीमेंट ना करे देश, तो क्या कोई फाइन वाइन भी लगाते हैं आप? इज देयर एनी मैकेनिज्म वेयर यू हैव सम like a fine or some remark if the country is not accepting to the
See,
recommendations?
it's actually वैसे ऐसे कोई process नहीं है. There is nothing like that where we can actually hold, but definitely in the process of review and continuous dialogue that is being held with the CRC committee and the missions of different countries in Geneva and in New York. So there is a process of reminders and, following up with the states. So therefore, there is actually, there may be a delay, but there is continuous process of reporting. And as far as I'm concerned, there are very few countries which got delayed. But there are also two issues. Countries have reported, but the CRC committee has not been able to undertake the review process. The reason is because the committee does not have the capacity. And that capacity is directly related to lack of resources of the United Nations, right? So जैसे like for example 3 हफ्ते में हम लोग कम से कम 7 देश को रिव्यू करते हैं. Plus हम लोग there are different other work that has to be done during that process. For example, dealing with general comments, day of general discussions. Then we have this OPIC and inquiries, individual complaints and inquiries which take place. So we have to deal with all those issues. So therefore, the committee has repeatedly, put pressure on the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. And through the High Commissioner for Human Rights and through the chairs platform, all treaty bodies chairs actually meet regularly, annually in New York. And through the chairs, there has been continuous demand for increased resources so that we are able to fulfill our review process. But this is a challenge, and sometimes countries become also quite disappointed that we are not able to take up the review process of their reports. And then if we delay, अगर एक बार एक country का report 1 साल 2 साल delay हो गया, फिर ground situation तो काफी change हो जाता है. New things come up, so then we have to again ask for new information reporting जब time आता है. So this is a challenge on both sides, right? But definitely the responsibility lies also on the United Nations, which is composed of the member states, to make sure that adequate resources are given so that they host. Now, I'll
take just two last questions, sir. So one is that people are asking that what is the present structure of UNCRC? How many members in your committee? That's like chair, vice chair, and how many members? And second question is about how children and civil society can participate. So what is the process of alternative report mechanism? One person has asked this. So 2 questions. What is the alternative report mechanism, and can children participate? And second is, what is the structure of UNCRC?
Now, on the structure of the UNCRC, like I said, we are composed, different treaty bodies have different strength in the committee. The CRC committee has 18 members. And 18 members drawn from all over the region, all different regions of the world, right? Currently from Asia, we are 2 of us. Actually, in the UN system, even the Middle East is in Asia, right? So therefore, we are 3 of us. We have 1 from Oman, 1 from Japan, and myself. And in the CRC committee consists of a bureau, a chair and vice chairs. The chair and vice chairs constitute the bureau. That bureau becomes the decision-making body and the support mechanism for setting the rules of procedure and everything for the committee. So the committee members are elected for a period of 4 years. And then there is scope for a committee member, if supported by his country or her country, stand for re-election for a second term.
Okay.
So basically, the bureau consists of chair, which is largely rotational, region-wise. So currently, we have a chair from the Afro region, which previously, before the Afro region, we have a chair from the Asian region. Our colleague from Japan was the chair from Asia. So it goes like that. So and then, of course, every region, and we are just now currently 5 of us who are, in the bureau, chair and 4 vice chairs. Okay, so we become the members of the bureau, and then each region we also have a focal point. So bringing regional issues to the committee, there's the concerns, challenges, interesting initiatives, or anything that the region would like to showcase at the at the committee level. The regional focal point is responsible.
Okay.
So as the Asia focal point, मैं क्या करता हूँ, जो भी interesting initiatives हो रहा है in different countries of Asia, I pass it on to the CRC network. And sometimes I also take the opportunity during our closed meetings to brief the committee on what is happening. And one of the main issues that I've taken up in the past is issues related to Afghanistan, issues related to Myanmar, issues that related to floods and earthquakes that has affected lives here. And then one, of course, the issue related to environment and children's rights in South Asia, and also the the lack of, or rather the limitations in terms of opportunities of civil society organizations, children from Asia, particularly South Asia, who do not have access to interact directly with the CRC committee. And that is something I have continuously harped on. And जहाँ पे काफी double standards, even we could call discrimination type of focus exists, and that is something which I continuously do. Now, one of the things which I think is crucial, as the question was raised, ये जो alternate report है, see, government तो सब, government's reports are largely rosy reports, right? सब अच्छा हो रहा है, सब ठीक किया, हमने ये follow up किया हुआ है, ये initiate कर दिया, so like that, लेकिन civil society reports then give us an idea what is really not working. That civil society tell us, or the alternate reports tell us, that CRC committee should ask the government what happened to this. इसका क्या किया? Concluding observation में ये recommendation था, इसका क्या हुआ? Government report में ये लिखा हुआ है, लेकिन इसके लिए कोई on the ground कोई substantive evidence नहीं है कि any substantive work was done, things like that. So alternate report from civil society, and then during the pre-sessions, when civil society organizations come in person for the dialogue, that becomes extremely useful, because then we openly have discussions. We will raise issues, like we go through the same process like we do with the governments, with all the clusters, and then talk to we'll have 4 members of the CRC committee per country, who will also be the same people who will hold with the dialogue with the civil society organized stakeholders, or with the children of that country. And now with the COVID and the development of the digital platform, so we are also able to have, say, for example, 6-7 people in person, but a lot of others actually join online. So therefore, this is something which also is constructive. Children's participation is something which I very sadly miss participation from South Asia. And I have been talking to a lot of our partner agencies, UN and INGOs on the ground since the last 2 years. And I'm hoping that before I finish my term, I will at least have children from South Asia and the UNCRC committee able to hold a face-to-face dialogue. But that is something which we need to really work on. and hopefully something can be done, because I'm in dialogue with UNICEF and other agencies on a possibility like that.
Okay. Thank Yeah. So thank you so much, Dr. Rinchan. I think you have given a very clear understanding, very elaborated understanding of how UNCRC works and how it is important. I hope people have noted there are many questions which are there. I'm just reading name. Aditi ji ne, Aditi have asked, Radhika ji has asked, Rishabh Malhotra, but I think most of the questions are answered. Calcium from Chhattisgarh and Andhra Pradesh have asked question. I think we have answered that. So still there are few questions, some questions which are sensitive in nature. We are not taking that question. I'm extremely sorry. But generally, what we have noted that yes, there is a space for civil society. यहाँ तक कि बच्चे भी भाग ले सकते हैं, अपनी बात कह सकते हैं. तरीका भी हमें बता दिया गया है, मीटिंग्स का भी तरीका बता दिया गया है. और जो ये रिपोर्ट्स होती हैं, ये इंपॉर्टेंट होती हैं. एक लास्ट सवाल ये बस इस पे है सर, उसके बाद हम नेक्स्ट पे मूव करेंगे साइवाक पे. Where people can see the recommendation. So do you have any website? How do people would see for their respective country what has been recommended by UNCRC?
See, basically what happens is एक स्टेट पार्टी के साथ हम लोग का डायलॉग हो गया. So एक बार डायलॉग हो गया तो ड्यूरिंग द डायलॉग प्रोसेस स्टेट पार्टी का साथ डायलॉग का टाइम पे अगर सिविल सोसाइटी भी उधर है तो ऑब्जर्वर्स करके you cannot actively participate in the dialogue, but you can always be there as observers, right?
Okay.
So once the dialogue process is done, then we give 48 hours for the state party to give to us in writing anything which they were not able to find time to report, or any additional information they have. Once that is done, then what the committee does is that within that period of 2 weeks or so, we finalize the concluding observations that was held with the state party. And then by 4 weeks, the concluding observations are on the website of the OHCHR. You just have to go to the CRC website and you'll see everything there.
Okay.
So, all reports, everything you'll find there. Now, before I end this, there are two things which I think I should mention. One is the OPIC, the Independent Communications, direct complaint to the CRC committee.
Okay.
And also, if there are complaints, then there is an inquiry process. So those things are things which are very, interesting, but highly, highly sensitive. So, and drags on and on and on. So we have a OPIC working group that has to really invest time and energy, because there's a lot of international law and things that are involved. The other one is this general comments. Now we are into our we completed 26 general comments. So most people are not sure what the general comments are. General comments are not legally binding like the CRC and the optional protocols, but they are an authoritative interpretation of the rights content in the CRC. And they detail what is expected of the state parties as they implement the CRC convention. So that becomes extremely important. Like the general comment on digital environment. And now the general comment on environment. And then children's rights with special, environment with special focus on climate change. So the next general comment, topic selection, we'll be working on that. So therefore, these are the things that actually help and expand the opportunity of making the CRC convention much more holistic and wholesome, and therefore, coverage of rights become much more comprehensive. Okay. So this is it as far as I
this
can
is about
think of.
yes. Thank you so much. I think regarding UNCRC, I think we have got a good information and all questions are answered. Just quickly read few names so that people get encouraged that we are also watching them. We have a person from Punch. He has joined. Shri Lekha Roy ji from Tripura. We have PISIRD. Then Vishal Shukla ji, Tulsi Rani. Then we have Babita Bagel, Bakul Ali ji. Thank you so much for seeing this program and getting knowledge. Pawan Soni, Prabhakar Singh ji, Rajesh Trivedi, Calcium Pradeep Kumar, Srishti, Tulsi Rani. So the idea is that lots of people across the country is watching this live chat with Dr. Vincent Chepal, who is the Vice Chairperson UNCRC and Director General SAIEVAC. So with this, I move to you, Dr. Vincent Chepal, is to get some information about what is this South Asia initiative to end violence against children, when it was formed, what are the objectives, and how it is working.
Yes. Now, at the end of the day, I am a SARC child.
Yes,
And I
yes.
take
And also, yeah, because
privilege
you're
of-
also you're a Bhutan national, and as I understand, you also studied in India from AIMS.
Yeah. I take pride in telling that I speak better Hindi than many in India.
Ji.
So
Ji.
basically now, this whatever work I do in the UNCRC committee, my core foundation is the work I do in South Asia.
Okay.
And in the CRC committee dialogues, I also concentrate quite a lot of efforts in addressing issues of violence against children in the state party dialogues and building on my experience of working in South Asia with SAIEVAC as well as with the 8 countries of South Asia. So SAIEVAC is still my main focus. Now, South Asia Initiative to End Violence Against Children has a very long, interesting history. And, we have this, like we live in the mountains in the Himalayas, the SAIEVAC has also been having its peaks and, low highs and lows. And this is something that, I continue to deal with. Now, SAIEVAC's real start was triggered by the UN Secretary General study on violence against children, right, in 2000. Okay. And South Asia participated, the different countries of South Asia participated in this study, and we held national consultations. And then we held the first regional consultation as part of this UN Secretary General study on violence against children in Islamabad in 2004. And then, 2004. And then in 2005, the first ministerial meeting was held where a decision was taken to set up a regional mechanism called the South Asia Forum to End Violence Against Children. Okay. And the initial coordinating secretariat was in Islamabad.
Okay.
And regional structure of coordinators were established with one person from every government. And I was nominated from Bhutan as a coordinator. And then the process started because it was supposed to be a 2-year rotation then for different countries to host it. And then it was the Nepal offered to host it. So in 2007, the coordinators met in Kathmandu. And during that meeting, we met in Delhi, and then we met in Kathmandu. And during that time, I was nominated as the coordinator of coordinators for South Asia to take this process forward. And then in 2007, we had the second ministerial meeting in Kathmandu. And then in 2009, we held the third ministerial meeting where a decision was taken that, where the institutional structure of SAIEVAC was established. Name was changed from SAF to SAIEVAC. The governing board was established with terms of reference, NACG terms of reference, children's participation, and a governance structure was created. And that's how SAIEVAC came. And that decision to establish a permanent secretariat, independent permanent secretariat, that decision was taken in the third ministerial meeting. Okay. So since then the process has started, and the SAIEVAC platform actually then between 2009 onwards till 2011, the process of getting every country to, provide, documentary ownership for the platform was initiated. And most countries I will not go into the details, but most of the countries have provided cabinet directives on participation with SAIEVAC. And as you know, Government of India also incorporated this, nominated the Ministry of Women Child Development as the focal agency for SAIEVAC in the government. And then established SAIEVAC as part of the responsibilities of officials there. Governing board member at the level of Joint Secretary and coordinator at the level of Director or Deputy Secretary was established. And this is how the process took place.
Okay.
Now, SAIEVAC as a regional platform was registered in Maldives. So therefore, we are already regionally registered legal platform with very clearly defined organizational structure, with its charter and everything. Then as the process moved forward, because SAARC was at that point of time a very active organization, there was a lot of regional harmony, a lot of bilateral collaborations were taking place. So I actually, with guidance from the Maldives Directorate in the SAARC, which holds the social affairs, women, children, gender portfolio, we decided that maybe we should also apply for apex body status when SAARC summit is held in Maldives. And Maldives government offered to, move the process, the documentary ownership of applying for apex body. So in 2011 November, SAARC summit was held in Maldives. We applied for an apex body, and then we got approval as an apex body status.
Okay.
So the apex body provides we do not become part of SAARC. We are not governed by SAARC. We are not part of the administrative structure of SAARC. But we have the privilege of using the SAARC logo. We have the privilege of getting SAARC visa stickers. And we have the privilege of organizing events under the political structure. So that's the advantage of it. So that's how we started. Of course, then the history of SAARC continuously changed over the years, and in the recent past has become almost a nightmare, right? So a lot of them, there were 6 apex bodies, out of which only SAIEVAC survived till now. And SAIEVAC is also now seriously considering our next stage, how to go about within this, atmosphere. Now, for SAIEVAC specifically, we have 5 thematic areas, which we all know. We deal with corporal punishment. We deal with child marriage, child labor, trafficking, and sexual abuse and exploitation. These are the 5 commonest forms of violence against children. Now, one of the challenges I have is when many of the, international child rights officials, different come to me. When these are days with me, then they ask me, violence children. If your focus where violence children, you only talk mental violence. Do not talk about other issues as part of our work. We actually took this as a comprehensive umbrella to address violence against children. So within this 5, then we have 3 cross-cutting issues. We have disability, gender, and child participation. These are the 3 cross-cutting things. So whether we deal with child marriage, child labor, everything, we still need to address the issues of these 3 cross-cutting issues. And currently now, hopefully we'll have some discussion in the coming months on adopting again environment and child rights as another cross-cutting theme. So this is the other thing. Now that's part of the technical part. But the most important one is the structure of SAIEVAC. I started with explaining about the government. So SAIEVAC has a regional mechanism and a national mechanism. Regional mechanism is responsible for coordinating activities across the region, and the regional mechanism is constituted by this governing board, which has a governing board member from every country, government, a coordinator who is the technical advisor to the governing board. So 2 persons from the governing board. Then we have 4 NACGs by rotation will come. 2 NACG chairs will come as full-fledged board members, and 2 NACG chairs come as observers.
Okay.
For 1 year. And then when the full-fledged board members graduate out, the observers become full-fledged, and 2 more NACG chairs from 2 countries come and become observers, so that there is continuity in terms of decision making. And also because most of the time the NACG chairing, period is roughly around 2 years. That's just how it is perceived. Similarly, we also have children in the SAIEVAC governing board. So same like NACG chairs, we have a boy child and a girl child from 2 countries as full-fledged board members, a girl child and a boy child from 2 countries as observers. And each, then there will be, of course, a male chaperone, a female chaperone for the full-fledged, a male chaperone, female chaperone for the observers. That's how it works. Then we have the SACG, right? SACG is the UNCRC regional platform who have, functions in 2 or more countries in the region. So they have a platform. And then the chair of the SACG is also a member of the SAIEVAC governing board. Okay. So the SAIEVAC governing board was created as a very unique intergovernmental platform, which is one of the most unique, in fact, one of its kind intergovernmental platforms in the world, right. And making it the most broad-based. And children, NACG chairs, SACG have same equal voting rights and decision-making participation in the governing board. Okay. So this is one. Except observers cannot vote and cannot speak. They just observe. So a regional is like that. And then, of course, the regional is governed by the administrative structure, the director general. Then we have the program wings and other things, which is normal. The national one is government mechanism and NACG mechanism. Government mechanism has governing board member, a coordinator, and NACG is any child rights organization who is interested to become part of the civil society or NACG platform, forms that. And then you have your own terms of reference and governance structure, which, and NACG SAIEVAC India actually was one of the forerunners in terms of setting up this process. And believe it or not, Government of India actually was very actively involved in defining the process for the NACGs. When we did that in 2012 November in Bhutan. So therefore, now currently we have very good functioning NACGs, except that in Maldives and Bhutan, for simple reason of limited number of organizations directly dealing with children, we have made some adjustments in terms of the way civil society is represented. In other countries, we have very nicely functioning, very well established mechanisms. So this is how is it. And then NACGs and governments actually work very closely with each other. That's also building a larger, cohesive, collaborative platform for children, for our country. So this is how this is how NACG is.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, as we move forward, I think there is a need now to strengthen, of course, the state chapters and local chapters, which I think NACG SAIEVAC India and Nepal, as well as Pakistan now, has been, putting a lot of effort. And I'm really hopeful that, when we do our review next, it will come out well. So let me stop here, and then if there are questions, then I can amplify.
Yes, thank you so much. So, देखिए बहुत सारी जानकारी डॉक्टर रिंचन चोपल ने दी एज ए डीजी SAIEVAC। जो लोग हिंदी में सुनना चाहते थे, बहुत क्विकली मैं अगर आपको बताऊं कि एक मैकेनिज्म है साउथ एशिया इनिशिएटिव टू एंड वायलेंस अगेंस्ट चिल्ड्रन। मालदीव में इसका जो है रजिस्ट्रेशन हुआ। 8 देश है जिनको आप जानते हैं सार्क देशों के नाम से। आपसी तालमेल से ये तय हुआ कि ये सारे देश मिलकर बच्चों के जो कॉमन मुद्दे हैं, चाहे बाल मजदूरी है, चाहे बाल यौन शोषण है, चाहे ट्रैफिकिंग है, उन सब पे काम करेंगे। कॉर्पोरल पनिशमेंट है और साथ ही साथ उनमें कुछ खास चीजें जैसे कि जेंडर, जैसे कि डिसेबिलिटी, अभी जैसे डॉक्टर रिंचन चोपल ने बताया कि अगर चिल्ड्रन एंड एनवायरमेंट, ये भी एक थीम उसमें हम ऐड करेंगे। उसके तहत उन्होंने ये भी जानकारी दी कि ये सभी देशों में अब चल रहा है, भारत की वो पूरी पूरी प्रशंसा कर रहे हैं कि भारत में बहुत अच्छे से चल रहा है, और ये सब आपके सहयोग से हुआ है। जितने हमारे मेंबर्स आज इस लाइव टॉक को सुन रहे हैं, उनका भी हम सब हृदय से उनको धन्यवाद देते हैं कि आप लोगों ने बहुत एक्टिवली इसको किया। अभी मैं आई कैन सी फ्यू नेम्स में एक बार फिर से पढ़ देता हूँ। शालिग्राम ठाकुर हमारे साथ हैं, अंजलि शुक्ला जी देख रही हैं, देवनाथ जी हैं हमारे साथ, लोक भारती सेवा संस्थान, गुंजन सोनी जी, जामा सामेल जी, लीना दास गुप्ता बासु है सिनी से। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सब लोग। देखिए जब आप इस कार्यक्रम को देख रहे हैं या इस बात को सुन रहे हैं, तो निश्चित रूप में ये दिखाता है कि आपने इस प्रोसेस को भी एक्सेप्ट किया और अडॉप्ट किया। साउथ एशिया इनिशिएटिव टू एंड वायलेंस अगेंस्ट चिल्ड्रन के बारे में डॉक्टर नितिन चोपल ने आगे बताते हुए बताया कि ये बहुत अच्छे से काम कर रहा है, और कैसे विभिन्न देश जो है इसमें 2-2 साल की अपनी जो है भूमिका निभाते हैं, कैसे इसका स्ट्रक्चर है। और सबसे अच्छी बात ये बताई कि इसमें बच्चे भी शामिल होते हैं, बच्चे भी इसके अंदर जो है वो इसके अंदर आते हैं। तो इन सब बातों का ध्यान रखते हुए हमें जो ये पूरा मूवमेंट है हमारा एनएससीजी वैक इंडिया के का, और जैसे कि एनएससीजी के बारे में भी डॉक्टर चोपल ने चर्चा की, बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, और इसमें आप लोग जो सहयोग दे रहे हैं वो भी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। सर, विल टेक a few questions. So one is that what is your advice for NACG VAC India? What should we take? And because you have two, responsibility, one as DG SAIEVAC and also as Vice Chair UNCRC. So what do you expect from NACG VAC India?
See, basically now, as we move forward, I'm actually looking at now at least having our in SAIEVAC movement, the transition finalized by at least March 2024.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that when we meet probably in December, then I will be actually holding a little more constructive brainstorming in terms of some of the things I've already got on paper in terms of what is likely to happen. The aspiration, of course, is that, and we started that during Ranjan's chairing period, where every NACG should now develop its bylaws or charter, and then ultimately become registered as a national network. And then, all the NACGs, once this process has been initiated, and that all the logos have been finalized and we are now using the logos. So SAIEVAC Regional Secretariat and NACGs, we all use the same logo, but customized for each state. So once the registration process of all the NACGs at the national level takes place, then we move towards registering NACG at the regional level. And then the movement shifts from SAIEVAC per se to the regional NACG mechanism. Okay. So that ultimately the responsibility of driving a children's movement, immaterial what aspect of children's movement, should fall or lie on the with the civil society movement. So this is how the plan is now. Okay. And as far as NACG VAC India is concerned, I'm happy that the state chapter strengthening are happening. Very soon we'll have some state consultations going on, where we'll get a chance to hear from different members from different consultations, and then also collect all their views and help us to as we move forward. But we are also now looking at Sanjay and my colleague Vikram, and we have been discussing of this, and I've had discussions with other NACG chairs on now the monthly NACG webinar series that will take up national as well as regional learning on issues and challenges pertaining to child rights and violence against children in South Asia, which will then provide guidance on our contribution to the larger global movement. So this is something that will happen. But I am very hopeful that NACG EVAC India's government, as well as the ability to allow the aspiration of the state and the regional and state doctors become and that we can find hope at some point of meeting like this, have an opportunity to everyone to face, then have more and
Yep.
the sensitive questions when I can't. So, but this is my hope and expectation.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. And now we are approaching to the closing time, but just read few more names. And they have joined. Parulji joined from Gujarat, and Mr. Sanjay Kumar from Jharkhand. Then we have Varsha Avasti from Delhi, and we have Pragya Chaudhary. She's helping us in coordination. Naseem Ansari ji from Uttar Pradesh. Vinay Paul ji. So I think all of you have actually listened to the entire debate and discussion, and it was basically a dialogue where we wanted to tell people that how this entire system works. Just to bring to your attention, NACG-WAC India soon is starting state consultations. हमारी बातचीत हो चुकी है. बहुत अच्छा एक स्टेट कंसल्टेशन का प्रोसेस अभी हम लोग शुरू कर रहे हैं. 8 राज्यों में हम आने वाले हैं आपके पास. हमारी जो शुरुआत है वो अगर मैं कुछ राज्यों के नाम लूं, बिहार में, झारखंड में हम करेंगे, उड़ीसा में हम करेंगे, श्रीनगर भी हम लोग पहुंचेंगे, ये भी हम लोगों ने तय किया. जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में भी हम काम करेंगे. राजस्थान में हम लोग जल्दी शुरू करने वाले हैं. तो इन सब में आपको भाग लेना है. प्लीज जिन लोगों ने मेंबरशिप ऑलरेडी फॉर्म भर दिया है वो बहुत अच्छी बात है. जो लोग अभी फॉर्म नहीं भरे हैं और वो जानना चाहते थे, आज ये डिस्कशन हुआ है, आपको पता है कितना इंपॉर्टेंट ये कार्यक्रम है, तो इसमें आप भागीदार बन सकते हैं. One last question, as it has been popped up, sir, is somebody has wrote at present who is the chair for SAIEVAC governing board? Who is chairing SAIEVAC governing board?
Yes, actually, India took over chair of the SAIEVAC governing board in 2019 during the 8th governing board meeting, which was held in Maldives. And then after that, 2019, and then we had the COVID pandemic. And so everything came to a standstill. And then once in 2022 beginning, we started now getting back to some normalization. So I had open dialogue with the government of India, with MWCD, and asked them whether they are still keen to continue. And I had discussed this with other colleagues of other regions, for the NAC chairs, who felt that the COVID period should be considered a zero period because no functions could take place. So Government of India said, of course, yes, we want to continue to chair. So as of now, India is still the chair of the SAIEVAC governing board. Our final decision will be taken as to what will happen in 2024 in the next few weeks. But currently, India is the chair of the SAIEVAC governing board.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So with this positive information that India is chairing SAIEVAC governing board, ये हमारे सबके लिए बहुत अच्छा अवसर है कि जब हम सरकार के विभिन्न कार्यक्रमों में जुड़ें, उनका साथ दें, उनका हौसला बढ़ाएं. Without government support, probably no network can survive or work if we are not associating with the state government or the local government or at the center. So with this assurance that NACG-WAC India is fully working close hand in hand with the government of India, state government, I think that will become a very good move. And these 5 things for children, for which SAIEVAC has mandate, and the extended mandate comes to NACG-WAC India, I think we remain committed. So thank you so much, Dr. Rinche Chopal. If you wish to say anything at the end, you may say. But really privileged we had you, and we had your full 1 hour, full of information, full of your positive vibes, and lots of questions people have registered that is available on our YouTube. Dr. Rinche.
Thank you, Sanjay, for providing this opportunity for me to reach out to all our colleagues. Of course, it's unfortunate that I can't see them, but definitely I know that you all are there, and your, spirits and your, energy, of course, reaches to me even now. And I thank you for that. And I also hope that whatever information I was able to provide did give you some understanding of what UNCRC does and what SAIEVAC is all about. But at the end of the day, you are the ones who actually make the difference for children, and particularly children of India and children of South Asia. and beyond. And we know that in the past many years, particularly in the last 5-6 years, India has made huge progress in number of fronts, and we need to continue to move forward. But we can do that only if we can work as a collective unit and reinforce each other's, strengths and support each other's, limitations. So with this, I want to thank all of you for this opportunity. I am still open for anyone who wants to reach out to me by WhatsApp, by email, with your queries. I'll be more than happy to receive. And I'm sure you can get all my information from Sanjay. So thank you very much, and please have a wonderful weekend. I know that even weekends are busy days for you, but try and find some time. And wishing all of you happy Diwali. Please stay safe from the air pollution, but enjoy your holidays. Happy Diwali to everyone.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. With this, I would like to conclude quick votes of thanks to all my NACG EVAC office bearers, Shri Victor, Madam Gitika, and all my executive committee members who are working hand in hand every day with NACG EVAC India, all our NACG India's board members, all NACG EVAC India conveners at the state, members, you are fabulous. All people who have not yet joined NACG EVAC India but were listening to this entire debate, thank you so much. And also all those government officials, government of India, state government who are working hand in hand with NACG EVAC India and helping, working day and night for rights of children. And as Dr. Rinchan Chopal said, India has showcased many best models in the world, and especially at South Asia level, that gives us energy and synergy to continue our good work. So many thanks. Thank you all. This particular video will be remain on YouTube. You may watch it later. Thank you so much. We may take 10 seconds to exit. Thank you so much. Pooja, if you can take us out, please. Pooja, can you close this, please?